My mom told me not to talk to strangers on the internet, but I'm glad I didn't listen. We are the Certified Noonas, your sisters in the love of Asian entertainment.
Hi, I'm Amanda.
I'm Jessie.
I'm Natalia.
And I'm Sky.
And somehow it is the end of the month again. And I'm not quite sure how this happened so quickly.
Don't know how.
We reject it, but we have to just...
we have to keep going. So it's time for our monthly roundup of what we're watching. Now, I will say, this won't be as long of an episode as other what we're watching episodes. Because it's been so hot, and a bunch of us got sick, and some of us were busy, that we haven't been at the level of drama consumption that you may have come to expect from us. But we still have been watching some stuff. So we're gonna do that. We're gonna do our little rundown like we always do. So we hope that you enjoy, as you seem to do every month. The people they long for the what we're watching episode. So who wants to take us off the top?
We can go reverse age order, I guess.
Reverse age order. Sky, take it away, the baby of the podcast.
Our maknae.
So I really have not watched a lot this month, but I will talk about Old Fashioned Cupcake because I did watch and finish it. The funny haha of this was it's so short. It's such a short show that I knew that. So I was like, I really want to watch it all in one sitting. And I really don't want to be interrupted like by a phone call or so like I had plotted, okay, I'm gonna wait until like such and such time at night on a weekend to where like I'll be able to focus and just power through it. I waited too late.
Classic.
So I got to like episode 4, like halfway through episode 4, and my eyeballs were like, nope, you're not allowed to finish this right now.
It's just so terrible because there's only 5 episodes. So you're like literally almost you're at like the end of episode 4 is like the climax of like.
So it totally ruined. I was really trying to have like pretty much the movie version experience with it, and I couldn't make it happen.
That's so
anyway. It was very cute. What's funny though is because I had intentionally not, like I didn't want spoilers and all that. Like I would hear what you guys would say about it and stuff. But as far as since I hadn't watched it, I didn't quite understand which character you were talking about whenever you were. But what's funny, so the dynamics that I heard you guys discuss before, they were reversed from what I had understood you guys talking about. So like pretty much for some reason I thought the younger dude was like really like charismatic or something. Like I don't know, but just based on what I had heard you guys say, like, and it wasn't bad that it was different from what it was just funny that I had like misunderstood or got it flip-flopped in my head essentially. But yeah, very, very cute, very sweet, simple. So
very simple. But like
simple.
it's bizarrely satisfying in its simplicity, and you're just like,
you know what? It like
exactly
actually like follows like a cupcake. Like it's just like sweet and satisfying, and just like kind of a little
a little nugget.
Yeah.
Oh,
and not so sweet, like not cotton candy, empty sweet. Like there was substance there, right?
And I always really appreciate, and it's hard to like say this in a way that doesn't come off strange, but when stories have characters that, it's not as if at least one of these characters had ever, either of the characters, it's not like they went into this going, I see myself as gay, I am only attracted to men, this is how I function, which is fine, totally fine. But it's interesting when there are stories that it's like a natural progression of like a friendship and trust and people understanding each other on a deeper level, and then what that means to them, and the fact that they realize they have more romantic inclinations. Like it's, I like those stories, especially when they're simple and there's nothing else distracting. Like, plot wise, there wasn't anything distracting from that. It was like,
it was more mature.
Yeah.
And
also it didn't get caught up. Like there wasn't like a coming out that, they weren't dealing with, there wasn't an external like pressure on them in any way.
It never became, the sad, the fact that society is homophobic and all, they didn't explore that, which there is a time and a place that needs to be explored.
Maybe season 2. but as the story exists.
It's kind of like that movie that we watched, that Natalia's pick last month, where as far as like, it just felt like a natural progression with these two people as they built trust and like inspired each other. I just really like that. I think that's a really cool, I don't know how to summarize that.
It's nice sometimes to get one that doesn't have, there's no parental drama. There's no, female lead who doesn't understand that gay people exist. There's no, like it's just two people coming together.
There was a female character who didn't realize that they were attracted to men, but like it wasn't,
it was like a normal.
It was like a normal
occurrence.
They're just they're co-workers, and why like I doubt they would talk about their sex lives. So why would she know about anyone they're attracted to?
Right.
So it was just totally.
And then on the other hand, it was also like
and lovely.
So even it actually wasn't all that like spicy. Like it's not really a spicy show. No. But at the same time, they would have like a blunt discussion here and there about things. It was just fast, which that's very chill. But very chill in that. Again, it was very mature, and I liked how everything was shown and how it felt realistic to a point. Adults being adults, having adults conversation.
But the tension,
sort of like.
It may not have been spicy, but that tension was spicy enough for me. Ooh, the slow burn. As much as you can say slow burn over 5 25-minute episodes. But
and the older fellow just being completely oblivious for like
so sweet,
way too long. Poor guy.
I was watching like a behind the scenes video of them today, because during all the scenes where he would have to like, where he would be eating, it wasn't one of those where you can like fake eating. Like he had to like shovel, like because he like chipmunked a lot. Like he would put food in his face and have like, big cheeks. And so every time someone would mess up, they would have to get him a new plate of new food and he would have to eat it again. He's like, I don't know if I can eat it. Please. And then when like the director would be like, okay, he'd be like, oh, thank God. Please stop this.
So for listeners, if you're curious where to find it, it's on Viki. It is 5 episodes, short episodes.
It is so good. Watch it. Like
nothing, very simple, low stakes.
It's one of those things that even us like describing it like really doesn't impress upon the listener how good it is.
Yeah.
But it's
a perfect summer watch. Like it's easy, it's quick, it's just nice.
It's very light, but like not in a meaningless type way, in a
experiential way
type way.
An experiential way. So for something completely different that was not light in any experiential way, I started watching and very quickly became obsessed and have fallen in love. And it's literally now, I have updated my top 11 list. Two dramas have been kicked off my top 11 list and replaced this year. Happiness moved up to number 1, and My Country, the New Age has moved in. So this show is
like, I am here.
It's like,
it's like that GIF with that guy that like bumps somebody out of the front. Anyway.
It's like, I'm in. Okay. So this is a sageuk. It is a Netflix produced sageuk. It's on, obviously. It's on Netflix. And it follows 2 best friends during a long period of time who become sort of entangled in other people's political aspirations. I know. I'm just saying this where everyone's like, oh, not more political. It's so good. And it really doesn't get bogged down in like the politics, because I'm going to be honest, most of the politics consists of stabbing each other in this one. So it stars Yang Sejong, who, if you're unfamiliar, is the actor who was cast because he tackled a armed robber at a convenience store when he was a teenager. And while being interviewed, someone who worked at an agency was like, wow, this teenager who tackled this armed robber is really good looking. I wonder if he wants to be an actor. So that's him. It also stars Woo-Do-Wan, very handsome, as the two best friends. So Yang Se-jong plays like the son of a general who was executed for, you know, misappropriating military supplies, but like he was framed, like, you know, pretty early on. You're like, yeah, this guy was framed. And then Woo-Do-Wan is the illegitimate son of the royal horse master, who's a piece of shit. And they're just like best friends. And then Seo-Wee, who's Yang Se-jong's character, has a little sister with epilepsy that he has to take care of. And like, it also has Jang Hyuk in it, playing the fifth son of this general who kills the king to become the king. And Jang Hyuk does not get picked to be the crown prince, despite the fact he was the one who killed the king for his father. And he's like, this seems like bullshit to me. Okay. And then so it all sort of moves from there. There's also, of course, there's Gisangs, but the Gisangs work as like secret information gatherers. It's so good. There's all sorts of stuff going on. And it takes place over like a 15-year period. So a lot happens, right? Like, I can't, you know, I don't want to say too much, but if you like sword fights, you're in luck, because this show, I don't know, I started watching it at my mom's house, and the first episode is like, you know, it lulls you into a false sense of security, like, these two are gonna be best friends forever, and nothing could ever possibly come between these two guys with their rock solid friendship. No, so my mom was watching it with me, and all of a sudden she was like, wait a second. That's because when the second episode starts, there's a little subtitle that comes up that says, while these characters are fictional, this is based on historic fact. And Mom goes, no, this isn't going to be a happy historic thing, is it? I'm like, no, Mom. No, it's not. She's like, I'm not watching this. But it is so good. I cannot even impress upon people how good this show is. And I don't know why I didn't watch it for so long, because it came out in, what year did it come out? It came out in 2019. So it was pre-COVID even. It was like right at the beginning, right before of Netflix. He went up
to military, right?
Yeah. It was, I think it was the last one because Eternal King
Monarch.
King Eternal Monarch.
King Eternal Monarch, thank you. That was the last one he did before he went to the military. But I don't know why, it was always on my list, but I just was like, I'll eventually get to it. But I was like, okay, I'll download it, watch it at my mom's house. I could not stop. It is incredible, absolutely fantastic.
Did any of them get awards from that one?
I think so.
I feel like they must have, but I
was just curious. I didn't know if you happen to know.
I don't know, but it's literally quickly. Let's see. Wikipedia will tell us. Go, if my computer will load a website.
Just while we're waiting, just as an aside, Natalia's place is very hot, so she's having some issues with her audio. That's why you hear cracking. It's not like anything we can do except for ask people to believe global warming is a thing.
We could go on hiatus all summer long, but then
unfortunately,
how would you know what we're watching?
It doesn't say. I don't think it did. It doesn't have any awards listed or anything on its Wikipedia page. Mind you, that's not foolproof, but
you know, quite often those types of shows usually get awards.
Yeah,
so I was just
it has a very modern soundtrack, which when you're watching sometimes a Sageuk that has a modern soundtrack, it doesn't work. You know, like sometimes when you're like, but this one works. Like it has like, you know how when we were watching that Pirates movie, not the first one, the second one, where it wasn't a very good movie, but I was like, damn, this rock music with the fight sequence is pretty tight though. It's that vibe. There's like rock guitar playing during like sword fighting stuff, and I'm just like, yes.
Yes. Admittedly, I always think it's so funny to say, like when all of a sudden I start hearing guitars. I'm like,
yeah. Well,
when
normally
they
I do too.
Rap,
Normally I find
rap
that
OSTs on SAG-X, you're like,
yeah, like normally I find that like bizarrely distracting. Like there was one, I don't even remember which one it was, but there was like this weird like Celtic style music playing, and I was like, what is this soundtrack? But this one, I feel like it works. And also, like, the costumes are beautiful. Like, the acting is fantastic. There are a few, like, comedic actors, but, like, it's not over the top with it.
So in your top 11, where did it end up settling?
Let's see.
Since it booted something out.
It booted something out. I couldn't even tell you what it booted out. Like, I'm just like, no, we're done with that. Whatever show I thought was incredible before, we're done. Okay, where's my top 11, which I think now has more than one Sagook on it. I just have to admit, I really like Sagooks, I guess, guys. It is it is at number 7, but I might move it up to number 6. But it's at number 7. Happiness is at number 1. I lied. 3 new shows have been added this year because Not Me also made it into the shit. Yeah, Not Me is now number 9. Sorry about that. But yeah, Happiness.
Wow, this is your year.
During KPSN recently, Natalia and I were asked the question like what our top ultimate drama was. And I know that I think all 3 of you are pretty good about having a running like, oh, my top however many. I still don't have one, so I'm like, okay, I
struggle.
Goal for Sky this year is to make one of those, so that way I don't
pull
things from my bum each time that question is asked.
Because
the answer this time was like, the only thing I could think of was like, I really liked Extraordinary You. Let's go with that.
Yeah, let's go with that. No, because for many years it was Circle.
Circle.
Circle, but now Circle's number 2. It's Happiness now. Happiness
is so good.
Happiness is so good. Which
see, I have a problem. Like I have some that like I would like. I have 2 dramas that I would consider number 1, but I still only have like the top 10 in my list on my
mine's top 11 because
you're like I'll be different.
I like to be different.
I'm not like the other girls.
I'm like a cool girl.
So how about you, Jessie?
So I haven't watched much because as you can clearly hear in my voice, I got sick.
You've been sick.
I got the dreaded
it
vid. It happened to me and I hate it. And I'm still kind of lingering issues with it. But it's mostly because just in general, when I get sick, I keep a cough very, very long afterwards. So during that time, like it was a solid like 2 weeks where I wasn't feeling very good. Even putting on my glasses was a thing. So like I didn't watch anything that was like Asian entertainment wise. Like if I had to pay attention to it or had to read it, it just wasn't happening.
It wasn't happening.
Yeah.
It derailed like all of my progress and that I had made the month before. Thank you, COVID. Really great.
Yeah, because you were like trucking through.
I had so many, and I had like so many that I was like really into, but now I'm just like all like behind on them, which I guess is good because then I have like multiple episodes of things. But I am going to talk about one of the dramas that I completed last month that I didn't talk about. And it's a jdrama called Only Just Married. I watched it on Viki, so it's easy to find. It's like your standard contract marriage rom-com. It wasn't the best. Like, I think it was fine. Like, I think if you like contract marriages and rom-coms, you're probably going to like it. It's not necessarily my thing, but the main guy, Kentaro Sakaguchi, he kind of looks like Chansung, and that's why I watched it. And I was just like wanting like a drama
especially
to
if
watch.
You're not
that was,
putting
like,
on your
fluffy.
glasses, like you know.
But his Kantaro's character, Momose, is like he wants to get married because you kind of find out that was always in love with his brother's wife, like, and so he just wants to like just get married so he can not like think about it, and like, you know, nobody will keep asking him about why he's single. And so he finds the girl, and Okada, who's played by Nana Sino. It's cute. They're like opposites attract, and then they, you know, obviously fall in love, and you know,
it's a really cute drama.
Like it is cute. It's not like something that I generally like, and I saw a lot of people comparing it to Because This Is My First Life, which Because This Is My First Life is in the top of my top 10. Definitely Because This Is My First Life, much better. But I think if you like those kinds of shows, you're going to like this J-drama, and it's on Viki. So it's really accessible. Yeah. Let's see. When did it air? Oh, 2021. It ended at the end of last year. So in December of 2021. So it's a relatively new drama as well, which is always fun to see Viki pulling out, not just, you know, older ones. It's cute. I'll give it that. It's just, you know, those are not usually my type of thing, but it was just like kind of a easy thing to watch. And the girl's cute in it too. She's like completely different than him, and he's kind of grumpy, but then they do stuff like that work out really well. They have that, like, you know, opposites attract kind of thing. Like there's like a part where she's in the room next door to him when they're married, and in the mornings his alarm keeps on going off and he doesn't turn it off. And so like the big thing is that like he confesses to her that he usually like, it's easier for him to wake up if someone like actually wakes him up instead of like an alarm. And so he like kind of like shyly asked her if she could do it. And she's like, that's fine, because it'll make the alarm stop. I'm totally cool with that. I'm easy. And like, so she does that for him. And then it becomes like a really sweet thing that they do. And like, you know, like little things that you're like, oh, they're great together, you know?
Yeah.
And then didn't she have like little, like she like the little gotcha, like, toys?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, she had the little toys, and he was like very like, you know, he loves everything the way it is type thing. Yeah. He also like, he doesn't actually like own the house too. It's like a thing, but like he was like kind of like, I don't like this. And then like with her just like saying one thing, she was like, oh, I really like this or something. And it really wasn't even that big of a thing. He like ended up like arranging them in a like a way that was pleasing for him, but it was still a very like right when you come in from the door from outside. It was very sweet. They were like very sweet things. They like remember each other's things, and it's like very effortless for them, and they don't even realize that they're doing it too. It's that kind of contract marriage where you're like, of course you're gonna get together in the end. What are you talking about?
I love it so much.
I think when I saw it pop up on Viki, like whenever it was done, I was like, "Hey, Natalia!"
Yeah, no, she was like, "There's new contract marriage just dropped," and I'm like, "Oh fuck yeah, contract marriage."
Yeah, I honestly, probably a lot of our listeners would really like it. It was super easy to binge too. It's like a very bingeable drama. You don't have to invest too much in it, and it's just like nice. I was like watching like a couple of episodes a night, and I was just like, this is like a fun little binge.
It is.
It was simple. How about you, Amanda?
I have also not been watching a ton of stuff. Like, it's a little hard to watch, you know, like Mama Go-Go's on the back burner because it's school break and you can't really like
you can't watch a show about
with a 10-year-old
with your kids around.
Yeah,
listen, it could be a good education. But, no, your 10-year-old walks in and then you're like, look, here's a job. You know, this is a legitimate work too. You know, it could become a good learning experience for the children.
Think of the children.
Yeah,
the children.
So I have. Basically, I haven't really dropped anything, but I started new stuff, but not like a lot of it. So, one that I was like avoiding, like the plague, was Extraordinary Attorney Woo. I was like, you law drama, no, not doing it. But the timeline is like, it's so good.
Timeline
it's so cute. It's so great, and I'm like, so I started it, and then I, watched 4 episodes in a day because it's that good. It's
so when I first it's really good. But when I first saw it, I was advertised. I was at my mom's, and then I was like, huh. So the plot being an autistic lawyers, okay, and makes friends at the law firm and does stuff, lawyer stuff. And then I was like, ooh, okay, this is either gonna be like really good or it's gonna be borderline offensive. Because like you don't
or not even borderline. Let's be real.
Like,
some of these shows are not borderline.
It's like
fully.
You do not know how a show is going to portray, non-neurotypicals, because it's usually not great.
No, especially in Asian dramas and stuff, right? Where they're struggling so much with that. But yeah, she's doing a fabulous job. As far as, my personal look at it, it doesn't feel over the top. It doesn't feel offensive. Like she's not doing a caricature of a person with autism. She's just playing a character who has unusual aspects to her, which it's on Netflix, and the Netflix English title is Extraordinary Attorney Woo. In Korean, it's Weird or Unusual Attorney Woo, which is intentional because people with autism are seen as weird. Autistic people are seen as weird in Korean and in Korea. So like, it's meant to be intentional. Like, okay, she's weird, but like, is she really weird? What's weird about her? Because we all have things about us that are unique. So is it weird or is it unique? And she's really, really good at her job. They're doing a fantastic job because there is like a love line in it, and they're doing a fantastic job with that. Not presenting her as a child, right? Like he's fantastic. Like he's so sweet, and it's like it played by Kang Tae-oh. Surprise, he's here.
And also, like, what I like about it is I feel like in a lot of these shows, they're like, yes, autistic people must date other autistic people, or disabled people have to be with disabled people. That's not the case here. Like, everyone's like, they all assume that he likes the neurotypical lawyer woman who also joined the firm at the same time. And then he's like, tell me more about the whales.
Yeah.
I would like to know about your hyperfixation, my friend. She loves whales, yes.
She loves whales. And it's
so good.
Really pretty. Like, so you get all these like fun, like sky whale scenes where she's, riding the train and she's looking up in the air and sees whales and stuff. And she thinks about all these whale facts, and somehow like that's the sign whenever she has this like light bulb moment, like she sees a whale like jumping through the water, and then she's like, yes, this like tiny little law that I know about that you forgot about, we can use that to like, win the case and blow this wide open. You're like, okay, amazing. It's so
good.
And like I was worried when they introduced the love line that you're going to get that certain subsect of people who are going to call it like pedophilia. You know what I mean? Because she's not neurotypical. And you're like, no, she's an adult. She is an adult. She behaves like an adult. She's not a child. She's not. They had an episode where there was another autistic character, and they specifically said he is in a stage where he's mentally somewhere in the age of 6 to 10. But that's not all autistic people. That's not how, I am not like that. I am.
She talks a lot. She has a lot of monologues where she talks about like it is a spectrum. Like there's and like everyone who has it is on it in different places. It's really well done.
So far,
and it's also killing it with the ratings, like worldwide.
Yeah, it's like
into
on the top and Netflix.
I love this because they keep comparing it to like Squid Games, and I'm like, yes, can we have sweet, just nice, enjoyable dramas that are like, not that Squid Game
was definitely enjoyable
in a very different way,
like, in a totally different way. So like, as opposed to being okay, Korean dramas are all zombies and like there's that kind of mentality with the people who are not in Asian dramas, that they like that's what they see is Squid Games and zombies, right? Like is kind of their perspective.
Which,
and you're
listen, we love both Squid Games and zombies. Don't get us wrong.
Yeah, no,
we're into that.
I'm not into like separate people who think that's bad. Like,
but also, just like every other country in the world that makes television shows,
they do.
K-drama is still not a genre.
Do other things, exactly. So exactly, like absolutely, and it's nice for, like, I was recently at a, funeral of my family, and Korean dramas came up, and my cousins all went, "Did you watch Squid Games?" And I was like, "No." And then they were like dead eyes, like, "Oh, okay, then I don't care." Right. And you're like, but there's more. It's a wide world, open your horizons, folks.
Like, so country doesn't produce one genre.
So I look forward to something in a completely different genre also gaining popularity. And people do seem to be, like, what I'm seeing is people who are autistic are also saying, I am seeing good things of this. Like, I'm not mad about it, which is good. That's what I want to hear, right? Like,
yeah, that's the most important thing.
Exactly.
Right.
So
that they appreciate
they also
the representation fully. Yeah.
And that I saw recently that somebody in my timeline who's not neurotypical and also has a sister who is autistic, they're going to start watching it together. So I'm looking forward to seeing them tweet about it and see where their perspective
they land on it.
So far, for me, like, it's so, I'm just can't stop consuming it. It's like, I just inhale it. Like, oh, there's a new, like, I haven't felt for a while, like, where I was waiting for that new episode, and I, okay, great, it's out, and I've got it right away, kind of thing. So I like that.
Wasn't it announced that an American version is going to be made?
Yeah, they already did. Yeah,
I'm not surprised by, because
I was going to ask, have we seen that type of announcement even prior to a show finishing?
Like, I mean, it wasn't even halfway, right? Like, it was 6
episodes. Like after like the first 3 episodes or something.
But I will say this is like a different Asian drama time.
True.
Yeah.
Things have changed.
In this stage where we're at, like I could see that happening.
Like post Squid
a couple
Game
years ago.
Yeah.
Post Squid Game world.
Yeah.
And I think too, I think the American version of The Good Doctor did well, and in some senses this is sort of in that same vein, right? Like, the idea
same
of
family,
and also unlike other dramas that they're like, oh, let's remake, this one doesn't hinge on Korean culture as part of the story, so like, you can have artistic just anywhere, like, it's
or even just like Korean geography sometimes, like the Train to Busan thing. Like,
I will say, just as a side note, I saw someone who had been watching the lineup or whatever studio's got the Train to Busan English thing. They dropped it from the list, which doesn't mean like for a fact that it's like completely gone, but it's not in the like coming in the future.
Good. You
can I was like, oh.
Movie. You don't have to make it a Train to Busan movie, because that doesn't make any fucking sense outside of Korea.
It doesn't
just make a zombie movie.
Sense.
It's already a thing. Zombie movies are already a thing. I'm
sure you have people of color who have
make another one.
Zombie or horror stuff. Use that. Like,
exactly.
It's there. I know it's there.
We know. Like, and people who are,
it makes me wonder.
And people who don't think that people of color in the state, listen, all I gotta say is every single horror movie Jordan Peele's put out has been an absolute fucking banger. So nice try.
Oh my gosh.
And it does make me wonder with Attorney Woo, are there neurodivergent scriptwriters who are like, I pitched that 3 years ago. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and they're going, okay, but you told me it wasn't realistic and it wouldn't test well, but now it'll test well. Okay, cool. Right?
No,
like,
for sure.
Fun. Yeah.
That's
absolutely. Absolutely. But, we have to say, we do like, we even though it's always a slow go, every time that there's a story about diverse voices in any way that gains popularity, it's a win. It's a win for everyone. So
it does. It's a win, but we do acknowledge the fact that like the lead actress is not autistic at all. Yeah. And that is a problem. Like whether we think it's good, she's doing a good job it is a problem because there are autistic actors who could be filling that role, and not having those autistic people in the writing and producing side is not a good thing as well. But there's something to be said about having good representation on screen as like a step forward in everything.
Exactly.
I'm not in the community, so if someone from the community says otherwise, then also we have to respect that.
Yeah, for sure.
So you watch anything else, Kat?
So I didn't finish anything else. I will bring up the topic for us to discuss some of Not Me. I am still working on watching Not Me.
And we'll definitely do a spoiler episode on Not Me.
We will. That is in the works.
So where are you at in Not Me?
Where are you at? Yeah.
It doesn't help that, since it's broken up into those little quarter sections of episodes.
Yeah.
I mean, I actually like that because, like, I can, like, watch a little snippet, and if I have to stop, at least it's like, well, I can just finish this 10-minute or 15-minute segment.
Interval.
But I think I'm around episode 4. So I'm really not that far.
Okay.
Like,
well, I'm enjoying episodes too, so
yeah.
I'm just starting to barely get into like the meat of what's truly going on. Like, because a lot of it was set up.
Yeah.
Why is he joining this gang? Who is a member of this gang? What is the gang's objectives? What are they up to? Oh, I love it.
Are they just hooligans? What's going on?
They seem pretty smart and focused to just be hooligans. Also, they don't seem fazed that I'm here, so I feel like they're probably not the ones who put my brother in that coma. Interesting.
Also, I have to say, whenever I watch a show where I really do like double shows to where there's either twins or whatever, but I also get a little stressed out when the first time they're trying to interact with the people that the original person interacts with all the time, the closest friends or the family or whoever to this main character that they're essentially replacing or pretending that they're being. I always get a little stressed out when it's obvious that they're like have no idea who this person is and have no idea. So you'll get through that situation without a hiccup, and it's like, but then it turns, and then there's somebody else.
Like there's another person that knows them. Like,
so why did you have so many friends?
I also enjoy when that happens, but at the same time, I get really jumpy. Like I was like, oh no, but it's so early in the show, and it's obvious that he has to like really get into this role. So
now, you know what? Now I'm just thinking about later on in the show, and it's just gonna be very fun. So Jessie knows what I'm talking about. You're gonna have a good stressful time.
I'll stress all the time.
But so something I can't talk about is since I do like shows where like there's kind of the dual role thing or whatever, but also when characters are like, I need to take over this person's role. Oh, I need to now get some piercings and get a tattoo really quickly. And they're sure good. They're going to be healed. They're going to be healed like immediately.
They couldn't just get a fake one. No. Definitely they don't take like months to heal. No. Yeah, but for the plot progression, we can look past. We can suspend our disbelief.
I didn't have any issue with it. I always get kind of a kick out of it.
And it's not even like a small tattoo. Like it's like a pretty sizable,
it's a huge
like
tattoo.
full band. Like
so funny.
Okay, it's fine.
But also, so far, as far as the themes of the show, like even this early on, I'm not sure that I have seen another show that so explicitly talks about or has a character encounter their own privilege so quickly and try to work on it's not that he's going to be able to fix that or anything immediately, but it's like when he encounters it, he's like, oh, like this affects
in multiple ways. Like
right, like you see the cognitive dissonance, but they don't, even if they don't spend a lot of time on that cognitive dissonance, the way they handled it very quickly seemed very legitimate to I thought it was well handled, and I really appreciated that, because the reality is, in real life, if you are a privileged person, but if you are trying to pay attention to the world around you and learn these things, you experience that cognitive dissonance on the regular. the rare times that I'm not even just saying Asian shows, any show brings that up, sometimes they try to make it into this very emotional, big, you know, with music and all this stuff. It didn't turn into a production for this. It was like, I have privilege. That's what this means. And then and then something else would happen, and then that connects to that thing I just learned. Like, it affects this person this way, this person differently. And so I really appreciated that so far. And I'm sure if you haven't watched it, it's hard to explain, but like,
it really is hard to explain without
giving
it. There's also it's very intricate too. It's like kind of more if you need to watch it than
it's a very subtle thing, and I guess that's what I'm trying to say. It's very subtle, but I really appreciated the way it was handled, and it felt very realistic, and I really applaud the writers already for like doing that. There's so many other shows, and I understand genre and differences like that, but even within, like, let's say a rom-com show, they do have times that they will touch on certain topics, and sometimes they'll have a little bit of cognitive dissonance, but it's not, for instance, a CEO type eventually figures out he's a douche, right? But it's usually kind of played for laughs, and all. There usually isn't a heartfelt like moment of, privilege. I need to check that. I need to like figure out how my experiences are not everyone else's experiences.
I think one of the other things I really like about Not Me is that they have the scenes in his classroom that, like, you know, and they're always discussing like the law and what's going on and what's happening. And it's this really great way for people who don't know, or international viewers who don't know these specific things that are happening in that country because you're not living there. It's a really great way for them to tell the audience what is happening and it be a part of the storyline. And I really appreciate that too. It gives more grounding to it because there's like a lot of stuff that you just don't know. Even if you were like really big on keeping up with the news, you just don't know because you are not the ones living there. And you are, you know, there's that like thing when you live in a country, you just are like ingrained with like rules and laws and stuff, or the way that things happen. So you don't think to like outwardly say it because it's like, it'd be kind of silly too in a way because everybody else already knows that. So you'd be like just saying things that people already know. But the way that they integrate it into the storyline, I think is really great, especially as an international viewer watching the show. I think it really helps you really get into what's going on.
And it was very smart of them to make his character being raised in Russia. Being raised in Russia. And so though he tried to be aware of what was happening back in his home country, the fact that he wasn't intimately familiar, like you just discussed, and how, but it still they didn't make it like someone weirdly explained to me like how this would not be a natural conversation versus naturally being in the classroom and it being a much more subtle, like it made sense. It all makes sense how he's figuring out.
And also the director is a trans woman, and she takes special care in highlighting issues for sexual minorities in the show as well. But, you know, because, you know, I feel like with a lot of Thai TV shows, they sort of project this, you know, we love the queers thing, which is not the case on a political level. So I feel like that's also done exceptionally well. And yeah, it's a great show. It's a great show. And we will do a full episode on it.
It's on YouTube. It's on YouTube.
It's on YouTube. It's free. You can watch it for free. Just watch.
So a spoiler episode will be coming out sometime whenever we have time. So get to watching it.
Yeah, this is your like chance.
You got time. Now's your chance. So finally, previously on What We're Watching, Sky and I discussed a show on Viki called The Full-Time Wife Escapists that we both loved. And I mentioned that I got hoodwinked because there was a movie special that takes place afterwards that was only 20% subbed, and I got. It is now fully subbed, and it is really good. It basically like takes off very soon after the other one ended, but they find out they're pregnant, but then COVID hits.
Oh.
It is so good. But there was one scene that really stuck out to me that I think really encapsulates the characters of the show, like their personalities, where the show is really good. It's like a regular movie length. If you like the show, you'll like this. But they're sitting and they're trying to come up with a baby name. And then yes, because they discuss everything as though they're
so business-like.
They're so business-like. So they're trying to come up. So then they're like, well, we don't know if it's a boy or girl yet. And then the husband says, well, I think we should pick a gender-neutral name because we don't know if the baby may want to change their gender when they grow up. And then they're like, yes, very smart. That's why. And I'm just sitting here like, these two are the greatest parents ever parented. Just like, yeah, they might not like their gender assigned at birth, so we should make sure that their name would be acceptable. Like, to either gender or, an agender person. Like, it's really quite good. Like, it dealt a lot with, like, sort of an intersection of, like, the anxiety faced by, new parents and, pregnancy, but also intersection with the anxiety that people felt at the beginning of the pandemic when no one knew what was going on. And it's really well done. Like, it's really enjoyable. And it also deals with men leaving for parental leave, which is like not a thing. But he's like, I'm going to be going for a month after my child is born for my parental leave. It's legally, and then everyone at his work is mystified that he has elected to take parental leave. And then she's like, no, you have to go in there and then you have to say it like it's a totally normal thing so that all the other men know that it is a normal thing and that they should also take parental leave when they have kids too. And he's like, you're right. Like, it is a normal thing. So it's like, it continues with their just being the most delightful business-like couple that is so in love with each other, but like treats everything transactionally, but not in a bad way.
Not in a creepy way.
It's so good. Like,
transactionally, like the fact that he's okay, like, if you're wanting to stay at home, I will make sure you are paid fair wage for all of your time.
For all the labor that you do at work. Yeah.
All those things. And then when it becomes, well, like if we're a couple, all of a sudden I lose on my money. Like, supposedly I get love instead of, and they have that conversation.
Yeah,
he's like, no, you're right. Like,
fair.
That doesn't seem fair. Like,
so anyway, it was exactly as delightful as the show was, but in like movie form. And they even had, Sky, you'll be happy to know this, the end credits of it was another
still the
fun
dance,
little choreographed dance, but a different one. So no, it was really.
It's quite their nice. Last one was a very intricate dance. I was like, this is impressive that all these actors learned this because it's a lot of steps, like a long dance.
And it's not like they're all of them are like young spry actors. No. And then it's even like it brought back all the characters you love, like the middle-aged gay man who now is living with the younger gay man that he met in the show. And, like the aunt who, anyway, it's
like, I'm going to be honest. Nice. If I had to put, like, I really enjoyed Only Just Married. I really did. Mm-hmm. But if I had to put it up against Full-Time Wife Escapist, I liked the conversations that Full-Time Wife, but I think Only Just Married is a good example of the typical marriage contract relationship.
Only Just Married,
I think it was good for that.
More of like a traditional sort of marriage contract rom-com vibe, whereas Full-Time Wife Escapist is like
it almost turns it on its head a bit while still doing the same thing. It's very
it's like no, we're gonna make this seem realistic. Like
but not at the same time because
yeah,
who would have business meetings about your relationship like to that level?
This man doesn't exist. This man doesn't exist. Like in a very different way than the usual rom-com man doesn't exist. Where you're like, this man doesn't exist. Where you're like, this man doesn't exist, and that's a shame. Like he's too business-like to like be a chauvinist. Like it's not like he's like not like other men. It's just like he doesn't kind of like the practical applications towards chauvinism. Like
but it's not that he was always that way. So like he would kind of do a chauvinistic thing and she would be like, well, here's my counter argument, and then he'd be like, he'd be like,
you're correct. You
are correct.
Logically speaking, that is an accurate statement.
I need to reframe how I go about doing this business, and we will go forward.
And then you like find out that, like, you know, because his father's kind of a traditional fella and stuff. So you're just like,
that's where this came from.
So Jessie, have you been watching anything else?
So right before I got sick, I started Rainless Love in a Godless Land.
Great
title.
It's a Taiwanese show. I watched it purely because it is by the same production team as Someday or One Day. So a lot of the actors and actresses from Someday or One Day are in this, and it's written by the same person. It just ended the beginning of January this year, so it's a fairly new one. I've only watched 1 or 2 episodes, so I don't know too much about it. It's like a fantasy mythology. It kind of just like was looking like it might be horror, but it's like not horror, which is very sad for me. It's about gods who are going to be leaving the earth because there's like not a lot of rain happening and the world's going to end. So they're going to like leave before there's like this last rain, which then will be the cause of the end of the world. And essentially the gods are kind of more like almost like guardians, like guardian angel type things, because they're like assigned to people. And it's like essentially the one god is kind of falling in love with his human guardian.
Where's it streaming?
iQIYI. You can find it. It's kind of annoying because iQIYI breaks up the episodes.
I hate that
for some reason, and it's like so they're a little longer. They're like a normal Taiwanese where it's like an hour 20 or whatever. But like so they break it up at the like 45-minute, and so then you have to go to part 2, and you're like, I just want to watch like straight through. Like I don't want to have to like stop.
Yeah, we TV does that sometimes too, but sometimes not even with like really long episodes. Like Love Mechanics is split into part A and part B, but it's only like a 40-minute show. So it's like, what are we doing
in terms of like my drama list has it like just as their the 13 episodes, but on iQIYI it's 26.
Yeah.
Like, so it's okay. I don't like it as much as I thought I would like it. I think I'm going to give it a couple more episodes before I say drop it. Although at this point, I probably would say drop it. Mainly because the main female is very screechy, and I really can't stand her. It's over the top comedy when like it's even like really more than like and it's really sad because like a lot of the show isn't that. Like there's a lot of like, I mean, they're like the horror part was like basically in the very beginning when they were kind of setting up the story and they were essentially trying to get like round up all the gods, because some of the gods have like assimilated into the world and like become like humans with like families and that sort of thing, and they're like rounding them up essentially because they're gonna have to leave the earth because the earth is dying. And there's like a lot of like things going on, and it was like really interesting in that very beginning. And I loved Someday or One Day. Someday or One Day was so good. And it's just, I don't know if it's necessarily the actress doing it. I hate to say this because I know she's like a fan favorite. of everybody because she's the girl from Refresh, man. So I know that everybody loves her. Joanne Singh. Yeah. She's got like what's her face equality? The girl from oh gosh, what was that drama? The Mystic Bar. Her.
Oh yeah.
When she does her like weird over the top comedy. That just doesn't even match any other comedy that's on the show.
Yeah, they make those choices and they sure stick with them. Yeah. Those are choices.
And it makes it really hard to watch because it's just not like there's other comedy in it. It just doesn't match what she's doing too. Like, so that's where it becomes like an issue for me. But it is interesting and it does seem like a show that I'd be like super interested in with the mythology and stuff.
Yeah, like it sounds fascinating.
A lot of, like, Taiwanese mythology. And like, there are like, you know, there's a couple of the, you know, Someday or One Day cast is in this and you see them mostly in non-main roles. Like it's interesting. It's just, I don't know if it's interesting enough for me to get over that main character.
Yeah.
I was kind of bummed about. I was like, oh man, because I really went in because I saw like it was a commercial for it and it was like by the same production team as Someday or One Day. And I was like, I love Someday or One Day. Here I am.
I am
and I
listening.
can get it on IG. So I don't know.
So how far along are you?
Maybe 2 episodes.
Okay.
I can't remember.
So you haven't.
It really was.
You haven't invested a lot of episodes.
Like I probably watched it like the day after we recorded our last episode. That's how long ago it's been. So yeah, I don't have my drama list up, but. Yeah.
But it sounds fascinating. Like,
I think there are a lot of people who will love it, though. Like, a lot of people aren't me on that. And I'm not, like, saying bad things about her. It's a stylistic choice that I know a lot of people love because it's in a lot of stuff. So, like, there's obviously, like, a market for it.
Right.
But, like, it was kind of hard for me.
I'm thinking I watched her in Attention Love, and she was much more subdued than that in
and it may be like a directing choice.
I bet it's somebody's choice.
It's somebody's choice. I don't know. Like it could be just like they're just trying to make her like super different than her guardian god too. He's very like quiet and stuff.
It's always a shame when they take it's often a female character. Yeah. To where they overplay. I mean, male characters can do this too. We've seen it, but it's. I feel like it's even more shame when it's the female. It almost gets to the point like, oh, she's almost hysterical. Like it feels.
Yeah. That's what it feels like, and it feels like so weird. Within what's going on and what's happened to her, it feels very much out of place for what is going on. In the show itself. Like it doesn't feel like it's supposed to be any sort of like humor except for like little like amounts, which we kind of get from like there's another god that like hangs out with the main guy and he was in Someday or One Day. He plays the psychiatrist in Someday or One Day and he's got like kind of like that comedy, but he was like his character, there's nothing that screams I'm not supposed to be like the comic relief, like it's written like that. Her character definitely is not written that way in a lot of it because she has a lot of stuff that happens to her. It gets into the like area where I personally like I watch those things and I feel like it's making fun of what's going on in the world, and also just unnecessarily making the female character crazy. Like it's off-putting to me. It doesn't mean that it's like a thing for everyone, and I understand if you love it. I'm so glad that like it found a home for you. But.
Right. It always shocks me when those like whoever made that choice for it to be played that way, be it the writer or the director, whoever it was. It always shocks me if it's a female person that like decides to make those choices. You know what I mean?
I can't remember if it's a female screenwriter or not. And I feel like the director has done some horror, which like is very evident in the very beginning. There's just some like stuff that goes on. You're like, oh, okay, this is gonna be really cool.
And it's like, you never know, like, with these things, it's like, because the director could have had one vision, and then the studio was like, no, we have to do it this way.
Yeah.
And then, so, you never, like, you never know. You never know.
But the end result, like, as the consumer of it, it's like, well, I can't handle this, and this, it sometimes does, like, essentially cheapen the story that you're trying to watch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything else you're watching, Amanda?
Yes. So, at the beginning of last month, when we did stuff that was coming up this month, we briefly talked about this Taiwanese drama called Mom Don't Do That, about adult kids dealing with their widowed mother getting back into the dating scene. And it's on Netflix. I started watching it. They dropped it all at once, so I'm just going through it at my own pace there. And it's really good. It's odd, but I'm really, really enjoying it. So conceptually, stylistically, it is as if a Korean family weekender had a baby with an American adult sex comedy. And it turned out really good. Like,
okay.
Yeah, right? Those two things, it feels like, it's like,
so does it have
chocolate
raunchy
in my peanut butter? Like, it shouldn't work, but it does. Like, it
does it have raunchy humor then?
Yeah, kind of, but like,
interesting.
Yeah, so it's, I mean, the kids are adults, right? The mom is an adult. She is 63, I think, is the mom. Dad's been dead for 10 years. And she's lonely and she wants company. And it basically starts out with a neighbor coming to the house and yelling at the older daughter, you know, where's your mom? She's off with my husband somewhere. And she's like, oh my God, Mom, like 1 billion men in this country. Like, you couldn't have sex with somebody who's single? Like, really? Like, come on. And it turns out, like, they didn't. They're hiking buddies. They went hiking up a mountain and a storm came in and they found shelter and everything. But he is making a play. Like, he's textbook, like, you know, when Mom's remembering the things he said, it's like, oh, my wife doesn't understand. I couldn't, you know, if I tell her, man. You know, like, all just the absolute classic. And the older daughter is she's a high school teacher, but she's also a romance novelist. And she's like, you know, she just starts pulling books off the shelf. She's like, that's this character and this character. And like, did he read the books and like the lines right from my book, Mom? Like, and so Mom's like, okay, fine. So she goes on dating websites. She starts doing all this stuff, trying to find the right man. So there's sort of these amusing bits, like montage scenes of her dating all these different guys who are like terrible in different ways and stuff. And it's like, it's not just like, she's not looking for sex. She'll be happy to find it. Like, she jokes around with her other girlfriends about, you know, size and capability and stuff like this. And, you know, you get these old ladies kind of giggling about things and it's kind of fun. But then there's like these really sweet, sad, heartfelt moments. One of the episodes deals with domestic abuse. And then also, like, the daughters have their own thing. So the older daughter is 40 years old, single. Mom wants her to get married, and she's not like against it. She just doesn't really know anybody. She's, you know, a guy comes into the picture and like they used to be friends in college or something, and now they're like hanging out and stuff. And this man has so many like semi-nude pictures of himself hanging up around his apartment. She's like, so gay. And he's like, listen, no, actually, I like,
you can just be confident.
Don't worry about it. So, and they're like self-portraits.
Like, I like when people come over to my house that they know what they might be looking for.
Like, you walk in the front door and there is this big painting hanging on the like opposite wall of him, like half naked, like his junk is like covered by like palm fronds and stuff. And she's like, wow, you had somebody paint you like that? He's like, no, I did it myself. And she's like, wow, okay, well, you're very talented. Like, and also, I would like to see this in real life. Like, you know.
I would like to see it.
You know, so they,
so are you like, so you're enjoying the show? Is it who would you recommend this show to?
Adults. I mean, definitely adults. I started watching it, and
I'm assuming that most of our listeners
when I watch it, and I'm like, well,
like none of your business. children. But if you would like an education on adult relationship,
I can turn on the stripper show too if you need it.
Yeah, go back to the stripper show. Don't even.
Definitely for like probably more adult women that would be into it, because all the main characters are women and the stuff they're dealing with, and they're equally main characters. So like the older sister, the younger sister, the mom, and they're all dealing with dad's death and how like dad was kind of the glue that held the family together. He was the one who did all the cooking and the cleaning and stuff. Like there's a line where the mom says at one point, she goes, yeah, no, I know I'm a terrible wife. That's why I had to marry a good husband. Like that was our dynamic.
Same.
He, right? Like I was like, oh, okay, I see you. And then the younger sister is in this long-term relationship with this guy who cheats. So she moves back home every couple of months, and then she moves out again, pays his rent for a few months because he's a loser, and then like finds out he's cheating and moves back home again. And there's this back and forth that keeps going on with there, and like, so dealing with her being in a relationship. At one point they make a bet, like, who can get married in a month, and then realize this is a terrible way to meet men, and like, so why don't we just go on a trip together ourselves? Like, okay, cool. So they all, go off to Australia.
Legit. That's a good
legit.
Like, we will, whoever gets married can get married in a month. The other two will pay for their honeymoon. And then they were like, why don't we just all three pay for us to all three
go on a trip? On a fun vacation, like cook men, Like, am I right? Am I right, ladies? Yeah. I might have to add that.
So how long is the show?
It is, I think, 12 or 15 episodes, something like that, and they're shorter episodes. Like they're on the shorter end it's listed as being minutes. A mini series, but like it's not like 15-minute episodes or anything. It feels just like a normal standard kind of length of series. I think I'm 6 episodes in right now. There's neat bits with the dad, like the dead dad, sort of them talking to him. I thought it was in the first episode, I thought it was like a psychiatrist, and then you realize at the end of the episode that no, this is like on his death anniversary or Father's Day or something. They're at his grave, like talking to him, and he's, so it's kind of neat, and it's sweet and silly and sad and sexy, and it kind of like finds a really good balance for it all. It doesn't seem like it should work, but it really does, and it's not what I was expecting it to be, because I kind of clicked play, like you look at the poster and stuff, you're like, this is just going to be like an annoying sex comedy, right? Like it's just going to be silly, but it's not. Like it is. It has its moment, but like it's
Amanda accused if the poster thinks it's going to be a silly sex comedy.
I thought it was funny.
I wanted to a sex comedy.
Getting a little, and it is fun.
Okay.
So, I do. Again, probably not for everybody. Not everybody's gonna enjoy the balance, perhaps the way that I'm enjoying it, but I like it. I think it's it's amusing, and the main character is the older daughter, and she's holding the line really well between the sort of like average family drama kind of plot lines, and then the like silly, like I really just would like to get laid kind of nonsense that goes on. So
I don't have anything else that I've been watching that's new. I have a lot that I want to get to. So
yeah.
Anybody else? Like Jessie, do you have anything else that you want to talk about?
Not really. I haven't really been watching anything except for Veronica Mars. I did a rewatch on all of it, all 4 seasons and the movie. I did a binge.
Love it.
And then
love it.
I'm in the middle of an X-Files rewatch again because it was stuff that I had already watched. So it was like, okay, I'll just watch things that I know, and I can be lame. And people can be fuzzy.
When I'm not feeling good.
Yeah.
When I'm not feeling good, I like to watch stuff I've already seen that I know.
Yeah. Especially because like you're kind of in and out too, like the medicine or just like coughing or just kind of like dozing off here and there. It's not worth it to have like something new on.
And there was a while there, like you were sleeping a lot because you had to.
Yeah. It was, yeah. I won't say like I felt the worst I've ever been, because bronchitis was definitely the worst I've ever felt. Like I really did feel like it could have been a stay at the hospital, but it was just like I just felt bad and had no energy. And I still don't have much energy too, which is kind of boring to me because I don't want to have long COVID symptoms of that. But it is a long COVID symptom. So
right.
I like it, but it also could be just because I haven't done much. So I haven't gotten back to it. But yeah, in terms of Asian entertainment, no, that's pretty much it that I've been watching.
Natalia, do you have anything that you're wanting to throw out?
Yeah, I've been keeping up with Check Out on IG. It's fun. It's like bizarrely, it's like a very standard, like office drama, but with just a lot of questionable sex going on in it. But it's fine. It's fine. Like it's. But I've also been watching My Secret Love on YouTube, which is really surprisingly fun. Like it's more fun than I thought it was going to be. It's your classic Thai BL college students that they hate each other, but due to reasons they have to work together. And are they falling in love? It's fun. It's pretty fun. And just been keeping up with all the stuff that was on last month. Jinx did first. I'm still watching. Alchemy of Souls, still watching. Just keeping up, and that's basically it.
How about you, Amanda?
I started a Japanese drama called. I'm not going to attempt the Japanese. On Viki, it's listed as Why I Dress Up for Love. It's from last year. It's sort of an office reverse harem roommate kind of story.
Well, that sounds fun.
Yeah,
you intrigued me.
It's good. Like
reverse harems. Say less.
Well, especially jdrama. Like often, if you start with jdrama, it's like, office, romance, reverse. Okay, I hear you.
Okay. Especially with a jdrama, I'm kind of into it.
Yeah, stop selling when you've already sold.
So it's cute. She's like a PR person for this company that sells like household goods, like home decor kind of stuff. And they've been all online, and she runs the company Instagram and then also a personal Instagram that has, a lot of followers, and she has timers set up to go off. Okay, I need to post at 8:00, and I need to post around 2, and I need to post around 12, and so she posts 4 times a day to make sure she's upping her engagement. She's got this whole thing going on. She's always constantly on, and she's got a thing for her boss, and they're opening their first ever actual storefront. So there's a lot of work going on with that. And then she, at the beginning, takes a wrong turn and, oh crap, I got off at the wrong stop and I should be across town. And this guy driving his like food truck by is like, hey, I'll give you a lift. And she's like, okay. Later you see his room. It turns out he's one of the roommates in this new apartment she moves into, and like he has nothing in his apartment. Like he's nothing in his room because like he wants less possessions, less things, less like simplify my life. Don't go online if I don't need to. No social media. Like I just live my life.
Not quite Sung Hoon level.
Yeah, pretty close. Like, luckily for him, he lives in this apartment that is owned by a grown woman. So there's furniture and like cereal bowls. Moves into this apartment because she's friends with the woman who owns it, and this woman is going away. And then there's another roommate who is a psychiatrist who works online. He does like therapy sessions with people online. And an artist who is very like, does her own thing, doesn't want to talk to anybody, doesn't want, very elusive and whatever. And, like they just start becoming friends and like, hey, we should like talk to each other since we live in the same apartment. And the previous owner, like, roommates are all like, what? Talk to each other? What is this nonsense? And she's like,
talking.
I don't know. Like, I just thought maybe like.
Is she an extrovert? I'm getting extrovert
house of introverts.
Kind of. So it's but it's good. I'm digging it. It's kind of, she's having a bit of a crisis. Like, that's kind of the whole premise here, is that she's going through this existential crisis because, like, right at the beginning, something happens with work, and now they're telling her, okay, we need you to actually cut back on all the social media stuff. We need you to pull back. And that's like been her
That
whole
was her
life.
thing.
Like, that's, so what do I do for this company if I don't have all of these timers going off constantly and 3 phones that I'm juggling and all this stuff?
So then her roommates are going to teach her how to be a person.
Basically. Well, they too are learning different aspects of what it means to, right? Because the artist is very secluded and like frustrated with her life and stuff, and then like the therapist has different stuff going on with him, so they all have different things going on in their life, and they're all working on each other, and it's nice, it's enjoyable.
Sounds good.
Sounds fun. Well, we come again to another end of another episode.
You're so
what's
crackily.
Should I try to do it?
Someone else do the outro. Someone else do the outro. This is sad.
So, in order to find all of our stuff, certifiednoonas.com. That's where we have all of the extra notes and things for all of our episodes. You can listen to all of our episodes pretty much on all platforms, as far as we know. Most of what we know exists.
Yeah, I think there's only one platform. I think Pandora has yet to like accept us, but I put in the request. I guess they're notoriously bad, so whatever.
And we do weekly live streams of various kinds. We will be having one. Like this will be coming out the same day, like tonight. Yeah, so like if you're listening to this Monday, we will be having one Monday night where we talk about what's coming up next month, because that's what we do. We do that for last Monday of every month. We try to cover what's coming up. But every week on our YouTube channel, which would be youtube.com/certifiednoonas, easy to find. We have all types of fun live streams and stuff on there. Trying to think what else. You
can find us on social media.
Oh, you can find us on social media, mostly on Twitter and Instagram, but also Facebook and Tumblr and anything else. We're pretty much everywhere.
It's always at Certified Noonas. One word.
Yes.
Lizzie's like, yeah.
Lizzie's helping.
Hello.
Oh, and if you do want to support us on our Patreon and be a part of our found family, that's what we call the people that support us on Patreon. We do have monthly movie nights. We will be having one sometime. I will be, since it's my birthday month, I get to pick. I don't know what it is yet. I will be picking something. We always pick a movie and watch that with people that support us, but we also have extras whenever we have a chance and things like that. But we really do appreciate your support if you are able to. But if you don't have any money, that's totally cool. We appreciate you. Yeah, we don't either, obviously. But if you wish to like share with your buddies that would maybe like things like this, or even K-pop friends, we sometimes have K-pop episodes. Go check those out. We cover a lot of stuff. We've been at this nearly 4 years, so if you haven't listened to all of our episodes, we might have some other stuff for you that you don't know about. So be sure to check out our backlog on our website or on whatever platform you like listening to things on. So be sure to wear a mask because things are special out there.
Picking back up.
Maybe double mask because apparently it's not safe.
Right. And stay cool if you're in a warm climate like many of us are right now. So. And keep enjoying Asian entertainment. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.